the Remote Engineering Job Fair Latin America. So this event is focused on developers who are based somewhere in Latin America. So hopefully that's you. And today's job fair is brought to you by Arc, as I mentioned, as well as Code Mentor. So this is the company pitches where you're going to start to learn about companies. So we will share in the chat. So I'm just going to list some of the company names here today that are going to be joining us. You'll be able to see in the chat here if you're interested in, hey, what's that company name? What are the open roles? We'll link everything in the chat for you to take a look at and for you to see all the details. So go ahead, sit back, relax, and enjoy the session. So let's see, let me find the first company. Let me go ahead and stop my screen for a second. All right, the first one I'd like to bring on stage. Let's go ahead and bring ClearSummit up to the stage. We have Jenny.
Hi there.
Hey Jenny, how are you today? Oh, can you, let's go ahead and unmute yourself. Let's see.
There we go.
There you go. Okay, Jenny, thanks so much for being our first company today. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And give me 1 second. Just start off by sharing who you are and who the company, company you're with is, and then we'll jump into the details. All right.
Cool. So I'm Jenny. I'm the director of product and delivery at ClearSummit. So I kind of work with clients, but I also coordinate between engineering, QA, and design. We're a really collaborative team, so we all work together really closely. But we are a fully remote company. I'm located in Los Angeles, but we have people kind of all over the world. So we use Zoom and Slack to keep in touch, but I think we do a pretty good job of it.
Awesome. Yeah, we love fully remote teams. So can you share a bit about your product? What are you building? What's really cool about ClearSummit?
Yeah, so we are a tech agency. So we work on a variety of like web and mobile-based applications, custom software for startups and also more enterprise level companies. So we get to dabble in all different kinds of industries. Like we have some fintech projects, ed tech, some example like an Uber for getting like a massage at your house. Like it's a pretty big variety of projects. So it's like fun to be able to do all sorts of things.
Awesome. So if we're looking at the engineering team in particular, what do you think is unique about that, about your culture and how you work together?
Yeah, so we have as far as the team, we have like a pod structure where we have kind of like pods of developers with a pod leader. So that's someone who is like a tech lead that can, be familiar with all the projects, in their pod and really help all the engineers that work with them. Like I said, we are very collaborative. So you'll be like in the same room with designers talking about things, like involved in the planning process. And then we, could be involved with like clients as well and giving feedback there. We work agilely, so we work on 1 week sprints. And does that answer the question?
So that was the engineering team. How about the team culture just generally, just more the entire team? Anything you can share about your values?
Yeah, so since we are fully remote, we care a lot about communication and transparency. We always want to like have people speak up if they need help, know where everything is at. We have like daily stand-ups and we have like weekly pod meetings where we can go in depth into all the projects that are going on. And I also feel like we all want to do our best work, but we value work-life balance, letting people, be their authentic selves at work. We have like monthly happy hours where we can all just like hang out and play games and get to know each other too. So that part is important as well. And we're also really open-minded. So, if anyone ever has any suggestions for how things could be done better or like, everything is sort of not set in stone as far as the way we work. So it's like a dynamic environment.
That sounds really awesome. So is there any way you can think about who would be a good fit for your team and who might not be a good fit for those who are thinking about, potentially joining ClearSummit?
Yeah, totally. So someone who's interested in doing like really high quality work and willing to like learn, we always have like new types of projects, maybe new technologies that we're trying to do, innovative ideas. So being willing to kind of explore in like maybe areas that you're not super familiar in, and then being able to, help other people on the team, but also be able to like speak up when you need help. So it's not really the type of place where you want to be someone who just like works alone and in a bubble. Like you really need to be like integrated and be able to like be self-motivated as well, as far as, you know, meeting our sprint deadlines and things like that.
Okay, so let's talk about the open roles that you have right now, and anything you can share about, you know, any characteristics you're looking for those particular roles.
Yeah, so we're looking for mid to senior level, ideally full stack engineers, but looking for basically React Native on front end and Python Django on the back end. And we also use React.js for web projects. So ideally full stack, but if you're like a senior front end, that could be good as well. And we have a number of new projects coming up. One of them is like being able to order a haircut at your house. One of them is like a market research application. We have like a cool fintech thing going on where you can like it's sort of like a Venmo, but for a very specific case. So those are just some examples of things. But yeah, those are the main roles at the moment.
I love that. So is there anything else that you'd like to add before we wrap up about ClearSummit?
Basically just that I like working at ClearSummit because I love everyone on the team. Honestly, everyone is really cool. We're all kind of friends with each other. We even have people, one guy is traveling from Uruguay to Brazil just to like hang out with someone for New Year's Eve. Like we're a cool team. And so I think that's sort of the best part of working here.
I love that. Okay, so we've linked ClearSummit's profile and you can check out their open roles there. And thanks so much, Jenny, for joining us. And if you have any questions, you can meet Jenny at the virtual meet and greet about an hour from now, right after the company pitches. Okay? Thanks so much for joining us, Jenny.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so let's next up, let's talk to the team from Hotglue. We've got I think we have 2 team members from Hotglue that are joining us. Give us a second to spotlight those team members.
Hey.
It could be Hassan and David. I don't know if both of you will join.
Yeah, you can put both.
Okay, and we have David as well. Give us a second to bring him up. So Hassan, maybe before we spotlight David, maybe you can just share who you are and just a little bit about Hotglue.
Sure. Yeah, I'm one of the co-founders of Hotglue. I'm the CEO. And basically, Hotglue is a developer tool. We make it easier to build integrations with different native SaaS products, things like Salesforce, HubSpot, QuickBooks, those types of things. So we're really focused on kind of making it simpler for companies to move data around.
Awesome. So just 1 second, we are able to spotlight David at the moment, but if you'd like David to come up, we can switch you in a second. So for right now, I'll just have you spotlighted on the screen if that works.
Sure, no problem.
Cool. So yeah, okay. Tell us a bit more about your product, kind of what you're building and the problems you're trying to solve with Hotglue.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, we're focused on making it simpler to build integrations with different SaaS products. Really, the problem we're trying to solve is right now when companies are trying to build products that are for businesses and they need to import data. So for example, like you need to connect to a CRM like Salesforce, you want to get that data out or send data in. There's a lot of work involved there. And so really we built a developer tool that makes that whole process much simpler. So you can build like lots of integrations and do it in a way where it's much more scalable.
So tell us a bit more about your engineering team, the technologies you use and how you work together.
Yeah, so in terms of the technologies we use, we're on the front end, we use kind of JavaScript frameworks like React, Next.js. On the back end, we actually use a lot of Python since we deal with very large volumes of data. So we use Python for not just kind of data syncing, but also data manipulation. And then our whole stack is AWS based and kind of based on serverless architecture.
So how about your team culture? Anything you can share about your values, how the team works together, and the kind of people who would be a good fit for your team?
Yeah, so we're a very customer-centric team. We are very collaborative. We're also totally remote, so our whole team is spread out across the globe. Actually, almost all of our engineers are based in Latin America, so we have a huge concentration in Brazil and Argentina. And really, the kind of people that are most successful on our team are those that care about being able to solve tough problems, wearing lots of hats, and are very interested in trying to expand their own kind of horizons in terms of what they can do.
That's awesome. So, is there anyone who would be a good fit or would not be a good fit? Things you can give, examples you can give for those who might be thinking of joining Hotglue.
Yeah. So folks that like, kind of a fast-paced environment that's kind of dynamic and the chance to work on more complicated problems would definitely be a great fit, including, people who are interested in startups in general, want to be part of that product feedback cycle of, really driving the direction of our company. And I think someone who might not be a great fit is someone who's looking for a role at a very big company. We're a small team of like 10 to 15 people.
So let's talk a little bit about the jobs that you have open right now. What roles you have or characteristics you're looking for those roles?
Yeah, so primarily right now we have backend engineers that are interested in working with Python. And they'll be helping to expand kind of the catalog of integrations we support, and also, helping us standardize the data at scale so that we can deal with larger volumes of data and support bigger customers.
Awesome. So we've gone ahead and linked Hotglue's profile in the chat if you're interested. And is there anything that else you'd like to add before we wrap up here, Hassan?
I think the only thing I'll mention again is that, our whole kind of engineering team is actually already based in Latin America. So this event is really great, and we'd love to meet anyone who's interested in joining.
It's a perfect fit, exactly. So yeah, we're really glad to have you. And so any developers here who are interested, go ahead and reach out to Hotglue. And thanks again for being here, Hassan.
Thanks.
Okay, so next up today, we're going to bring on the team from Certa. So we have, I think we have two team members. We can highlight one of them who will be speaking with us today. Okay.
Hey.
Hi there, Gaia Ninja. Am I saying your name correctly?
That's perfect, but I'd make it a little easy for you. You can call me Gyan. That is the first 4 letters of my
name. Okay, awesome. So glad to have you here with us today, Gyan. Can you share who you are and a little bit about the company?
So quickly, I am from the talent acquisition team, and I'm joined by one of my techies. I think he's having some issues with the system, so I apologize on that part. He's not able to log in. So I'm from the talent acquisition team, like I said, and I am basically here to talk about what the company probably is, give a little bit insight about what Certa does. That's what you asked.
Exactly. So tell me about Certa and tell me about your product. What are you all building there?
Cool. So we again are a SaaS startup, and basically we have created a no-code platform, which is so easy and so generic. And when I say generic, I'm not so simple and stable that if anybody has to integrate, as in any customer has to integrate our platform on their system, it wouldn't need you to understand or know coding. And so it basically helps our customers to create their own own workflows, automate them, and then it's highly integrable. So we predominantly would fall into a supply chain domain, wherein there's a lot of contract lifecycle management that happens. There's a lot of third-party risk evaluation that goes on, and most of it actually happens predominantly manually. So that's where we shine out.
Awesome. So let's deep dive into the engineering team. What can you tell us about technologies you use and how the engineering team works together?
So predominantly, if you talk about the tech stack, we are predominantly a Python, Django, and a Postgres organization. Having said that, we are open to probably consider mixed bags of tech as well, wherein a little bit of Python and maybe a little bit if you're somebody coming from, say, Java as well, right? Till the time you've got it, you come from an object-oriented programming background, and you're really excited about what we do, and you think you'd be able to contribute. That's pretty much would work for us.
Okay, so if we think about the team culture as a whole, is there anything you can share with us about Certa, your values, or how the whole team works together?
Right. So we are absolutely a customer-centric organization. So we run with a hot partnership. So basically, we navigate challenges together and we build on top of each other and leave things better than you probably had found them. And we are a 100% remote organization. So we're fully distributed team since 2016. You get to work with a lot of high potential and a lot experienced folks globally. And yeah, that's again, there's a specific term that I'd use is dog fooding. So basically, it gives you an idea as to it gives you an idea to get a feel of what your customer does. Also, I think for now that's what I go with. I just don't want to
And
over.
how big is Certa? How many people in your whole organization?
So right now we're good 165. The plans are really aggressive for next year.
Awesome. And so what open roles do you all have right now for the engineering team?
So for now, I've got backend developer. Like I said, the preferred technology that we're looking at is Python, Django, and Postgres. But if you have a combination of either of these three, we'd love to speak to you.
Okay, so we've gone ahead and linked Certa's company profile and all their open jobs in the chat if you're interested to check those out. And again, we have the virtual meet and greet after if you have specific questions for the team. So is there anything else that you would like to share before we wrap up here?
One thing that I'd really want to share about Certa, we are such a fan of our product that we actually use our product in a bunch of our own processes. And one of the interesting thing that comes with we using our own product is our when it comes to UAT, because we use our own product a lot of time. I mean, in fact, in a lot of processes, uh, the end product that goes to the customer is highly finished and polished because we have already, in a way, already the employees have already done a UAT, so to say. So yeah, that's one thing. And yeah, if you're looking at contributing to something really amazing, that is any which ways has started changing the supply chain domain, we'd love to speak to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us from Certa. And again, check out the company profile if you're interested. And yeah, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks, Christine.
Okay, so next up on the stage, we're going to bring the team from BlackOakTV. We have Ayanu. Hopefully, I'm saying that name correctly. Hi, Ayanu? Am I saying your name correctly?
Yanu.
Yanu.
Yes.
I love the big mic you've got there. This is awesome.
Thank you.
All right, so can you tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about the company?
So my name is Yanu. I'm one of the founders of BlackOakTV. Before that, I was Facebook. Before that, I was at Intel. I've been an engineer for a good chunk of my time in this career. And yeah, I'm working on BlackOakTV along with my partner Uzor, and we're basically a media and technology company. And we're looking to build a product, build basically the place for the underserved Black community. Our flagship product right now is a video streaming application. And we're basically just looking to build a product for the Black community where they can commune over stories that represent their lives. So yeah, that's a short, I hope, description of what we're trying to do.
I love that. So tell me about the team. How big is your team now? And particularly about the engineering team. What is it like in the engineering team culture?
Yeah, so that's kind of the interesting thing about us. We're a very small team, and I would say we've been able to achieve a lot since our inception. A lot of the engineering of what we have today has been done by me. So one of the good things is like whoever is going to join us is going to be basically working directly with me and will be able to contribute at a very like low level in terms of the architecture of things that get done, and in terms of like contributing towards the goals of the company and towards the strategy of the company. Yeah, does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah. How about you say you're still a small team. Anything particular about your culture that you're really proud of within the team, or potentially the type of people you're looking for to be part of that culture?
Honestly, I would say I think we typically so far we've worked with a lot of people that kind of understand the mission and understand what we're trying to do. Also, people that are excited about the technology of trying to build a streaming platform. Those are kind of the people we've worked with in the past. Uh, I guess in terms of culture, I would say we're very open, pretty transparent. Like I said, we're a very small team, so like every single day we're chatting on Slack or on ClickUp. Some of the tools that we use to manage our internal items, and yeah, like we're still kind of figuring out a lot of things. And like I said, we're open to learning and basically taking ideas from whoever decides to join us. Like I said, it's a good opportunity to be able to contribute towards the company culture, also towards engineering, and towards the larger vision of the company as well. That's kind of what we offer.
Thank you so much. So in terms of the roles you have open right now, can you give us a bit more detail about those?
We are looking for a product generalist. We have about 6 products right now because we're a streaming platform. We have web products, we have mobile products, and we also have products on TV. A lot of that has kind of been done so far by myself. So we're looking for people to come on in and basically contribute however platforms they're comfortable with. We're basically I would say we're looking for someone that's not scared to just kind of touch a little bit of everything, and someone that basically has a vision and is just excited about figuring out how to go make that vision come to reality. I think one of the things that we've done so far, I would say, is we've tried to keep everything very simple. A lot of stuff is done through AWS. We use JavaScript, Next.js, React kind of stuff. A lot of serverless architecture for backend. So a lot of flexibility and also very simple architecture that we have so far. So yeah, that's kind of the nutshell.
All right. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we wrap up here, Yanu?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're very young in kind of what we're doing. So whoever is going to join us right now will basically be able to take advantage of the fact that they will be joining as one of the founding, engineers, and they will be able to contribute at both a lower level and also towards the larger group goal of the company. So that's I think one of the, I'll say the sell for us. So I'll be waiting in the room if anybody wants to chat more about what it takes to actually build a streaming product, and also just compete with the big boys in this business. So I'll see you all soon.
Thank you so much. All right. If you're interested in BlackOakTV, we've linked their company profile in the chat below. And again, at the meet and greet, you can also meet with the team and ask questions there. All right, so we've got the next company we're going to bring on stage, SnapEDA. We have Hassan from that team joining us today. Let's go ahead and spotlight Hassan. Give us 1 second. Switching the spotlight. Hi there, Hassan. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. What about you?
Doing wonderful. So tell us a bit about yourself and a bit about SnapEDA.
Yeah, of course. So my name is Hassan, and I am the tech lead here at SnapEDA. So SnapEDA, our mission is to help engineers design products faster by removing barriers for them. So we're building the #1 search engine for electronic components. Engineers use our platform to find resources that help them design their products, and component manufacturers use our platform to promote and increase access to the products that they sell.
Awesome. So for your engineering team, tell us a bit about your culture. What's unique about you, and what technologies you use?
Yeah, so we're a fully distributed team. We represent a lot of countries, including Canada, Colombia, Argentina, Philippines, and India. The technologies that we use are Python, Django, Postgres. We deploy things on Heroku. We also make use of Redis. And yeah, we have a big culture of collaboration, always having open communication as we are all fully distributed, as well as being always customer obsessed. Those are the values that we really try to live by.
I love that. So how about your team culture? Anything else you can add about not just the engineering team, but the entire team? Values, or who would be a good fit for your team?
Yeah, for sure. One of our biggest, one of our most important values are own it. It's called, we like to call it own it. We are all leaders, which means that, a person that would be a really good fit for our company is someone who's not afraid to take ownership of a product from start to finish, because it might include talking to the customer to find out exactly what the needs are, or talking to other members of the team. So yeah, that's kind of one of the values that we really live by. And the other one is once again biased towards action. We like to move fast, and instead of having a lot of meetings, a lot of emails, just always prioritize actions. So that's another thing that we definitely try to live by as well.
I love that. So how about the open roles that you have right now? Anything you can tell us about the specifics that you're looking for the engineers to join your team?
Yes, right. Yeah, so right now we're looking for a full stack developer. Again, the stack that we use is Python, Django, Postgres, and Redis. And we're also looking for a front end developer. So we do so everything on our front end is done through the Django templates with plain HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. So yeah, those are the two open roles that we're looking for at the moment.
Okay, so is there anything else that you would like to add just about SnapEDA and why, maybe your final pitch into why you would want to join your team right now?
Yeah, so our company is growing really fast at the moment, including our engineering team, and also we're in an industry that's really ripe for disruption at the moment, and you will really get to be on the forefront of it, which makes SnapEDA a very exciting, fast-paced, and innovative place to work.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We've linked SnapEDA's company profile. If you're interested, you can check them out. And yeah, thanks again so much for being here, Hassan.
Not a problem. Thank you very much.
Okay, just as the team's getting the link, we do have one more company that we're going to put on stage now just because we're still getting that link together for you. So we've actually got Diego from Morada Uno who's joining us to share a bit about the company. So if we could go ahead and spotlight Diego. There we go. Hey, Diego.
Hi. Thanks for the invitation. Happy to be here and happy to be talking about Morada Uno to all of you.
Yes, thanks so much. Go ahead.
Great, thanks. So Morada Uno is a Mexico-based company, and what we do is we're creating technology and financial products to make real estate transaction 10x faster, safer, and smoother. So the idea is, as we all know, real estate is a very outdated industry where a lot of the transactions happen offline. There's a lot of paperwork involved. In Latin America, if you're looking to rent a place, it's extremely complicated to be able to meet the requirements, to come up with all of the paperwork, to be able to do so. So here at Morada Uno, our mission is to build a technology so that real estate professionals, meaning brokers, developers, investors, can close their rental transactions and provide their user base 10x faster experiences and 10x safer rentals. So we have this very interesting dual component of technology built for real estate professionals, aiming at making their lives easier, their work easier, and helping them grow their real estate business. And at the same time, solving one of the most profound pain points in real estate for landlords and tenants that are looking to rent properties.
Thank you.
Yep.
Go continue. Sorry, I was going to ask the next question, but go ahead.
If it's a Q&A format kind of thing, please shoot.
Yeah. So, I'm curious. You said you're Mexico-based. Are you a fully remote team, or what is the structure of how you work together?
Our tech team is fully remote. So we have engineers all across Mexico. We had a couple of foreign engineers as well, one from Republican Dominicana, and an Argentinian guy that we had as a freelance. So we are fully remote on the tech side.
Awesome. And so tell me about the engineering team in particular. You talked about the tech team being remote, but how do you work together? What are the technologies you use? Give us behind the scenes of the engineering team.
Sure. Starting with the technologies, on the front end, we're using, Java is sort of the base, and we're using React and Vue.js as the main technologies on the front end. For the back end, we're using PHP and Node.js. And then for databases, it's Mongo database and MySQL. That being said, I think our engineering team and our philosophy is very much open to exploring new ideas, new technologies, better ways of doing things. So that's one of the things that we're looking for as we grow our tech team, is to be able to recruit people that are going to come in and question the way we do things, and that are going to challenge us to use different technologies, and that'll help us grow and improve our products.
Awesome. So tell us a bit about the team culture. You talked about the engineering team. Well, what about your entire team, the culture, or maybe the kinds of fit that you're looking for, who would be a great fit to join your team?
As I'm guessing most of the companies on the fair, we use an agile workflow for all of our tech sprints. And we do foster a very collaborative culture, where our number one focus is a consistent delivery of value for the users. So we do break up our tasks into, or projects, or epics into smaller tasks that are going to continuously deliver value for users, and out of which we're going to get constant feedback from users, so that we can iterate and improve. So we try to stay away from epics or projects that are too big and that we're going to be sort of in a black box building out before we test it. We're much more agile and with a mindset of consistent value delivery.
Thanks, Diego. So tell me about the open roles that you have. What kind of teammates are you looking to bring on? The skill sets you're looking for those engineering roles?
So we're looking to actually double our tech team. So today, we've been 2 years on the market. We've done a couple of financing rounds, which allow us to now think about expanding our tech team, and we're actually doubling in size. So we're hiring a full squad with what my co-founder, who leads tech and engineering at the company, described as the Shopify kind of squad, or the Spotify kind of squad, which is it includes a PM, a UX, a UI, and front and back end developers. Soon enough, a data engineer as well. So we're looking to build out an entire additional squad with both UX and front and back end.
All right, Diego, that sounds awesome. So we've gone ahead and linked Morada Uno's company profile and open roles in the chat if you want to check those out. Now, is there anything else that you'd like to add before we conclude your part of the session today?
Yeah, there's a couple of things I'd like to say as closing remarks. First is that my co-founder, Ines, she is the head of product and technology at the company. She couldn't be here today because she's on the final stages of her maternity leave. But I think that having a woman lead technology at the company has allowed us to build somewhat of a unique culture, and that's something we're looking to build on. No? So women engineers more than welcome. We're excited to continue building out a balanced and diverse team. So I think that's somewhat unique in our company and in our culture. And secondly is what we're building is challenging because of the real estate nature. Real estate, like I said at the beginning, occurs both online and offline, and the technology that we're creating has to be able to adapt in that sense. No, it has to be able to allow for offline and online processes to meet and intertwine in a smooth transaction, and that's incredibly challenging. And it's one of the most exciting things about what we're building is having to meet those offline requirements that are natural in real estate. So I think it's a super interesting challenge when it comes to that technology. Our culture is unique, strong. So I'm excited to meet candidates interested. You did ask what the ideal candidate looks like.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
looking for critical thinkers, people that are coming in and are going to question the way we do things, that are going to ask tough questions, challenge us in the technologies and the processes and the output that we're putting together. And that's what we want. We want curious people and people that are going to feel excited about solving these problems in real estate. No, we're looking for people that have ownership in what they do and that are going to be excited about solving the most profound pains in Latin America.
Well, thank you so much, Diego from Morada Uno. We have linked their company profile down below in the chat. And we'll have 2 more companies to join us before we head over to Gather, and you can ask your questions and you can meet and greet with the company reps. Okay, so thanks so much, Diego, for joining us.
Thanks, Christine.
Later.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, next up we have the team from Jumpcloud. I believe let's bring Katie to the stage. Katie will be joining us from Jumpcloud.
Hey, everybody.
Give us 1 second to switch the spotlight. There we go. Hey, Katie, how are you doing today?
Hey, Christine, I'm good. I've actually got one of my engineering managers here. Could we bring Dave Gaffield up as well?
Sure. Let's see. We're going to have to switch you. So it looks like we're only able to put 1 person at a time. So we'll go ahead and switch. And if you want, we can bring you up a little bit later. So David, we're going to bring David up to this.
Bring David up. David, it's all yours.
All right. Let's go ahead and do that. David Gaffield, give us a second to switch that spotlight. There we go. David, go ahead and unmute yourself, and then we'll get to learn about Jumpcloud. How are you doing today, David?
I'm great. Thank you. Thanks for having me here. It's great to be here with everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Let me introduce.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and introduce yourself and the company.
Sure. So again, I'm Dave Gaffield. I'm an engineering manager. I work for Jumpcloud. I've been with the company almost 3 years now. A little bit about our company. We're in the identity, access, and device management. So really focused a lot on kind of core identity management as well as end user server device management as well.
So in terms of the product, anything else that you can share about, the product that you're building? What gets you really excited? Because you said you've been there for 3 years. What gets you really excited about what you all are building?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the thing that drives me is really learning, and it's something new almost literally every day. It's kind of cliche saying that, but it literally is almost something new every day. We deal a lot on a cross-platform environment, so we're dealing a lot on almost every environment operating system platform that there is. And so there's a lot of opportunity to go very, very broad, both platform-wise as well as tech stack. We're pretty diverse there as well. Very cloud-focused, but we also have a strong presence kind of on device, kind of close to embedded as well. So I'd say the breadth and just the opportunity to learn is what excites me the most.
So tell us more about the engineering team in particular. So you shared a bit about the product, which sounds really interesting. What's unique about how your team works together? And tell us about the technologies you use. Anything you can share in detail there?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been growing quite rapidly, and so that's one of the challenges. But I think one of the things that about our team is that we really try and focus Agile from, I'll say, big A, more from a cultural standpoint, and really thinking about things like incremental delivery, feedback from customers. So trying getting our engineers and our teams as close to customers as we can and close to the customer's problems, deep understanding of the problems that we're solving so that we can have those deep conversations with our product management counterparts to help shape and build the product and kind of really have maybe more ownership into what we're building rather than kind of really just focusing on the technology by itself.
Yeah, so you're talking a little bit about how you work with the other people within your team. So I'm curious what you can share about your entire team culture, not just the engineering team, but how Jumpcloud works together as an organization.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start with, I think, it kind of goes back to your question about what excites me is, with the company in general, we have 3 core values that we literally live and breathe all day, every day at Jumpcloud. And first is, we talk about 1% better. What that means for us is really focusing on those small incremental improvements every day, every sprint, every week, every month, and then just letting that build and on top of each other, over a month, over a quarter, over a year, maybe that 1% better is going to just totally accumulate to just massive, massive improvement. Second is really building connections. And that's, I think, my favorite, especially as an engineering leader. really thinking team first, not just within your engineering team or within engineering total, but also within other parts of the company, supporting each other and really being aligned on mission first rather than team first things, and really just getting to know and building those connections with each other. And then lastly is think big. So we're trying to compete with maybe Microsoft. So as a startup, that's maybe scary at first, but to me, it's a big motivator as well. And so, we have big aspirations and we set aggressive goals. We certainly don't meet all of them, but I think that's on purpose, really to help drive us and maybe help us think differently on how we might approach those goals as well.
Yeah, I love that. So anything, like, I think you have talked a bit about the culture, but in terms of the person who would be a good fit, is there anything you can share about someone who would be a good fit for your team and maybe who would not be such a good fit?
Yeah, absolutely. I think first, I mentioned it before also, I think starts with ownership. We look for engineers that own kind of the problem from end to end. So not just from the requirement or story from the beginning and shipping it, but really owning the thing and the component and the piece of the product once it's in production, supporting it. Ownership in the problem that we're trying to solve, I think, is really the foundation. And then I think second is really based on the breadth of what we deal with, especially on the technologies and our tech stack, is kind of the flexibility and the ability to take kind of the engineering foundations and principles and apply those to learning new technologies. I mean, look, especially as the world's moving as fast at new tech these days, that's, I think, critically important as well.
Yeah. So let's deep dive into your open roles. I know that you are hiring in Mexico only right now, from what I've heard. So tell us about like who you're looking for and the open roles you have. I think we have a link down in the chat for those who are interested.
Yeah, it's pretty broad. So we have a lot of roles across a lot of different teams. Again, our product is pretty broad. So we have roles that are focused on, back-end engineers, for example, focused on kind of deep authentication, authorization workflows. Also back-end engineers focused on device management, so dealing with APIs with maybe Android, Google or Apple, Windows, Microsoft as well as maybe device management. So, engineers that focus deep into the OS on, for example, Linux or Mac OS. And then ranging from UI engineers, whether that's mobile or browser, as well as quality engineers focused on both manual and automated testing, again, across the board, whether that's APIs, browser, front end, really, really broad there.
Awesome. So we've gone ahead and linked Jumpcloud's profile and the open roles in the chat. If you want to check those out, go ahead and check out those roles. And is there anything else that you'd like to add before we wrap up your session all about Jumpcloud today?
I think that's all I had. Really, thank you for having me here.
Thank you, David. All right, everyone, we've got one more company we're going to bring on stage before we jump over to Gather, and you can meet and greet with the company reps. So thank you for your patience as we try to get through all of the companies. So we got one more up, and then we'll go ahead and head over to the meet and greet. So let's bring up the rep from Immuna. Do we have, there we go, just getting that spotlight ready. Oh, we have a green screen on your camera. Let's see if we can get that adjusted. There we go. Oh, I can't hear you. Let's see. Can you give it try to adjust your mic and see if I can hear you in a second? No, unfortunately, I'm not able to hear you. The sound isn't working on your end.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, there we go. We got it working. So thanks so much for joining us from Immuna. So how should I pronounce your name? Gaurav.
That's correct, Gaurav.
All right, Gaurav. Tell us a bit about yourself and about Immuna, and tell us, give us a little intro.
Definitely, yeah. So, hey, my name is Gaurav. Really excited to be here to meet everyone. Quick introduction about myself. I'm a serial entrepreneur. This is my second startup. My background is on the engineering side. So I've worked in like really large companies, 100,000 people company and 10 people company. And what we're doing at Immuna is we are making the crypto space safer. So if you guys are following the headlines right now, all these scams and fraud and everything is going on. What we intend to do is make this space safer by providing a platform where investors can mitigate the risk of investing in crypto assets. We look for all these things happening in real time, and sometime even before they happen, and take proactive actions on behalf of our investors to make the space safer. What that basically boils down to, if you ever lost money in Luna crash, if you were our customer, you'd not have lost money at a high level. So that's where we are. We are a C-stage company. We were part of the Y Combinator this summer, and we closed a seed round. So we're hiring for a lot of different roles. We are 4-people company right now. I'm happy to go deeper as you want, Christine.
Yeah. Okay. So tell us a bit more about your engineering team in particular. How big is your team, and what do what's unique about how you work together?
So fun part is all of us are engineers, basically. Even I tend to code right now. As we said, we are early stages. We are a pretty senior team. So the average years of experience in the team is 10 plus years. And all of us have worked in different aspects of things: machine learning, data infra, and the full stack roles. And we are hiring for different roles as well. So we are looking for data scientists who would like to, come from a statistics background and do modeling, as well as the data infra side of things. So if you are distributed systems, you like Python and distributed systems, microservice architecture, that's we have roles for that, and obviously full stack also, hiring full stack.
Okay, so you said you're all engineers, so I don't know, I was going to ask you about the team culture, but it seems like you've kind of covered that. But is there anything you can add about who might be a good fit for your team? You mentioned very senior, or who would not be such a good fit for your team at this stage?
So I would say there are 3 key qualities that we look for as we're hiring. So we're looking for some depth. So that means you have curiosity and an ability to learn fast. Second, obviously, the ownership and the first principle thinking. So whichever the role that excites you, we would like you to have some expertise in that and an ability to learn and grow in that. I don't expect everyone to be an expert on day one, obviously. And that is an expectation. All of us are learning together, and we have very open cultures. We're remote first as well. We are based in 3 different time zones. So me and my co-founder are on the West Coast in San Francisco. We have one guy on the East Coast, and we have one person in Europe. So we are pretty remote first.
So what are the open roles you have right now? And is there any, particular characteristics you're looking for in those particular roles?
Yeah, we have 4 open roles right now. We have one, which is a data scientist. So background in machine learning, applied AI is, if you have that background, you should apply for that role. Basically using a lot of crypto data to figure out the risk mitigation and patterns in that. Second role is data infrastructure. So if you are in data warehouse, data engineering, ETL, Spark, if those words rhyme to you, that's another role for you. Third role we have is on the senior blockchain side, where if you have experience in the blockchain technology, then that's the role for you. And fourth is full stack. So if you know Node.js, Python with React, so that's the 4th role we have.
Awesome. Anything else that you would like to add before we wrap up here about Immuna?
No, at a high level, we are a very biased for action company. So we like to move fast, and that sometimes means learning on the go. So that's an expectation that we have, and we do know that folks learn as they grow. So curiosity and learning, I would say, just want to emphasize that are the core pillars that we have in a company.